What's happening, motherfuckers? Let's fucking go. We're back. We're fucking back, baby. Let's go. My name's Ernell Pearson. I am one of your hosts today alongside my little Thai peanut, it's Xander.
That was aggressive. That was very aggressive. I was not expecting that.
Oh, I know. Nobody's ever expecting a good old motherfucker right first thing in the morning. You know what I'm saying? Let's go.
I am.
But I am. Oh, and Jenesy, there you go. See, Jenesy's walking about it.
Okay, maybe I was the one who didn't get the memo there.
Oh, that's fair. That's fair. Jenesy! Gabrielle, the queen of bitchin' herself. How are you doing?
Hi. I'm wonderful. How are you?
I am fucking. We had a couple days off. I am out of the cycle of doing content. I gotta warm myself up here. So I'm trying to bring the energy. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to bring the energy. It's gonna be
that
good.
explains the motherfucker.
Motherfuckers in the morning.
The motherfucker. It's good. I forgot to mention. This is episode 71 of the Good Kraken podcast, and
ooh, look at that.
It's gonna be a damn good time, guys. It's gonna be a damn good time. Xander, we have not had you on here in a little while. How have you been, my friend? How have you been?
I've been good. I can finally walk again. The last couple days, I had to be rolled everywhere because yes, Thanksgiving was in full effect.
Oh yeah.
So much.
I was like, I thought you got like an injury or something serious.
No, nothing serious. Nothing serious. Just nothing but turkey and green bean casserole and mashed potatoes and everything.
Mm-hmm. We did ham. We didn't do any turkey, unfortunately, but we did ham. Oh, that was good enough for us. What was that?
I was gonna say I've been contemplating switching to ham because I prefer ham.
Same.
I just do turkey on Thanksgiving just because it's like that's the thing to do. But honestly, I'm starting to think like let's just do away with the turkey and just go straight ham.
We don't conform here. You know what I mean? We don't conform. You just do whatever the fuck you want. You know what I'm saying? Like,
that's what I'm thinking.
Jenesy, how was your Thanksgiving? Did you have a good time?
It was very nice. We spent it with Naomi's family, and we watched Hawkeye, and we watched the Jonas Brothers roast, and we just hung out. And our niece was there, so we got all the baby cuddles.
Ooh,
and
okay.
I'm not saying Naomi and I are her favorite, but like she always smiles at us and screams at other people. So
okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough. I like that. I too also like to just yell at people on Thanksgiving. You know, that's my brand. So as far as I'm concerned.
But the time that like everyone was there, she was either sleeping or screaming. She was like, "Don't touch me!"
Sleeping or screaming. That's rough. That is rough.
That's me on a typical weekday.
Same retweet. I feel like for a quick second I'm having a little bit of video lag, like a split second of video lag. I'm trying to see if maybe
on your end.
You gotta make myself disappear for a second. Wha-bam! I'm a magician. And now I'm back. Okay, I think that might be a little bit better. It might be a little bit. Well, we'll see. We'll see as we go. I mean, this wouldn't be a good Kraken episode if we didn't have some kind of fucking tech difficulty, just fucking ruining everything. You know what I mean? Just ruining everything.
Drop out. Yeah.
It is our brand. We are good Kraken, not good at this Kraken. Xander with the Christmas snow. The Christmas snow. And I got the Christmas lights all set up. It's in season, baby. Wow. It's Mariah Carey season, y'all.
We're fucking ready.
We're here for it. We're fucking here for it. You know what I mean? Just like you guys are here for it, because today we're talking Miyazaki never giving up on us, the Star Wars disaster, Hawkeye's return, and much more, because this is the Good Kraken podcast, your choice for all the nerdy video game and pop media news, reviews, and discussions that you want to hear live every Tuesday at 7 p.m. and Saturday at 12 p.m. If you're riding this wave, you can head on over to patreon.com/GoodKrakenShow, where you can submit questions and topics to the show. You can get exclusive post-show content, and you have early access to episodes before they go live on podcasts and video services across the 7 seas. Yarg. Let's fucking go. However, if you've emptied your pockets for the latest and greatest in entertainment, that is totally fine. You can watch us record the show live right here at twitch.tv/GoodKrakenShow. If you have Amazon Prime, you also have Twitch Prime, and we would love for you to give that to us to help keep us pushing content out for all of you listening and or watching at home. But you can also support us by going to our YouTube channel, clicking that beautiful bell and big red button, or by subscribing to our podcast channel by searching Good Kraken with an exclamation mark and leaving a review there. Xander! We have some captain's orders, my friends. Don't forget, guys, we are doing a live reaction to the 2021 Game Awards. We finally got a time. The Game Awards starts at 5 p.m. Pacific time. That is 8 p.m. Eastern time for Xander. And we will be going live here for our reactions at 4:45 Pacific time, aka 7:45 for you Eastern birds over there. We'll be doing just a little bit of a quick get together for 15 minutes prior, getting our lives together, get things set up, hanging out with you guys for a little bit. We're gonna be there for the entirety of the Game Awards showcase. It's gonna be so much fucking fun. We've been getting closer, and I'm getting like way more and more hyped as we get closer. My friend, I'm so
games,
games,
awards,
lots of games. Yes, all the games, all the awards, all the excitement, all the announcements. That's what I'm most fucking excited for over there. Oh boy, it's gonna be lit. In the meantime, guys, we got some little waves. We're fucking doing it, guys. We're fucking doing it. We're back in the game. Here. So I'm just gonna burn us through these really fast. Little waves is our little segment that we do where we talk about some news stuff that we didn't think was gonna be quite big enough to put into the Helm, our main news segment. So we're just gonna kind of rapid fire through these. We only have 5 today. It was actually kind of a little bit of a slow news week this week, guys, and you'll notice that. So first off, Birds of Praise, Possessive, broadcast cable version was mistakenly added to HBO Max, and the unedited version will now return. So I guess, the movie got uploaded to HBO Max. Someone noticed that somehow, some way, for whatever reason, the television broadcast cable version got uploaded to HBO Max. The entire movie was censored. And people are like, what the fuck is this? I'm an adult. You know what I mean? I'm an adult. Like,
that's so weird.
If I want to hear, terrible, terrible shit in a movie, I should be able to do that if I want to. You know what I'm saying?
It's my goddamn right.
Right? Because freedom. But apparently, HBO Max put out a little thing that said, "Hey, our bad. We're putting in the regular version for you guys now." And some interviews happened where some people that are reps for different streaming services had said that the same thing happened with Back to the Future 2, when it went on to Netflix a while back. And
oh, interesting.
Yeah, that's we gotta fucking figure that out. just stop censoring.
How does that happen? Did like they pressed the wrong button or something like that? Like, oh shit, my bad.
I'm telling you. Anyways, Returnal DLC possibly being teased by developer Housemark. So Housemark put out a tweet the other day that had a mysterious image on the 26th. They put this out yesterday, and it was captioned with Atropos ... #Returnal. And for anyone that doesn't know this, Atropos is the planet where the video game Returnal takes place at. So I mean, honestly, I'm not surprised Returnal got a lot of love when it first came out. Like those like time loop games are getting some popularity these days. So now we can have the conversation of, did Returnal get snubbed for Game Awards? Maybe. There's conversation maybe about that maybe being the thing. You know what I'm saying? Halo Infinite multiplayer will add more weapons over time. Let's fucking go, baby. Let's fucking go.
I'm excited.
Joseph Staten.
Give me a Spartan laser.
Oh, please. God, please. Joseph Staten recently spoke about the number of weapons in Halo Infinite's current multiplayer mode, confirming to all of us that more weapons will be coming to the game in due course. Fuck yeah. I mean, that's kind of
my only thing is it feels very balanced as is right now. My only concern is adding some more of those weapons to the smaller game modes. Obviously, I've been playing Halo Infinite ever since it launched.
Same.
I haven't been able to put it down. I can understand more weapons in the big team game modes, but for the smaller ones, maybe not adding, but replacing certain weapons. Because right now it feels very balanced, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And then obviously, if we we bring back Fiesta as like a permanent game type, then yeah, you know, have them all. Let's see that.
I would definitely agree. I would definitely agree. That the only thing I feel like is maybe a little bit unbalanced. That sidekick just be popping, bro. I like majority of my kills are with that fucking pistol. It's insanity.
Yeah,
it's insanity.
It's so good.
Mike in the chat says $1,835 for all the cosmetic stuff in the shop for this season and next. Can't you earn all the cosmetic shit in game though? Like just by playing the game?
Yes, you can.
Yeah, that's kind of what I thought. Because I saw some people,
but it's kind of a hefty grind.
Which is kind of like what people were saying is like you can get everything, but because the Mike says absolutely not. I don't know. Well, Xander, do me a favor. Give me a credit check here. Give me credit check.
So there's like exclusive cosmetics that are available in the shop. I wouldn't jump to say that you can't earn them by playing the game just yet, because this is the first iteration of the battle pass, so to speak. Yeah. So who's to say that they won't bring them back in a future battle pass or something like that, or bring them into? Sure. So I see what you mean. I think it's too early to really say unless they've already said otherwise.
Okay, I see what you get.
I'm banking on the fact that there are certain like the Halo Championship Series skins. I can imagine those being exclusive to the shop. But then everything else, I would imagine that they could bring it into the Battle Pass at some point.
That makes sense. I mean, like, because that's kind of what the conversation's been around with it, is like the Battle Pass is like. It's the battle pass is not permanent. Like there's going to be new battle passes, new rotations of things that you can get, but the issue that people were having with the game first and foremost was that the battle pass like grind was like real slow, and like the developers have been listening to all of us about it, and it's been pretty rad, like the feedback that they've been listening to overall. I guess we'll have to say. Mike says they're taking a quote, you can buy it now or wait for it later kind of style. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of what most games are doing these days. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, unfortunately, that's kind of the state of the industry at the moment, but we'll see where things go from there. Next up, the MCU's Daily Bugle now has a TikTok account. In my notes, I put, it's kind of really cool. It's actually kind of really fucking cool.
I'm actually following them too.
They actually, they released an app that you can download that allows you to sort of be on a fake like Spider-Man universe, like social media channel. It's kind of really fucking cool. Like if you guys have not checked that out at home, like I highly recommend. It's really dope.
One thing I actually really love about this as well is one very prominent figure on the Daily Bugle's TikTok is Betty Brant. Yes. Who, if we're familiar with the comic books, she actually did end up working for the Daily Bugle. I mean, if we go back to even just if you're only familiar with the movies, the Tobey Maguire films, Betty Brant, played by Elizabeth Banks, she was at the Daily Bugle when they first met, which is in line with the comic books. So I thought it was kind of like a nice little nod to, the source material.
Yeah, no, it's rad. It's rad. I kind of thought Jenesy would be like the most hyped about this because it's like
I didn't know that was a thing, and I am actually super fucking hyped because that is how I spend my time.
Yeah. And
as of right now, they only have 3 videos up, so you have time to catch up.
Yes, and J.K. Simmons
sounds very interesting.
Oh, it's so cool. It's so cool. J.K. Simmons is, J. Jonah Jameson again. We have him in all of his beautiful J. Jonah Jameson glory on there on TikTok. It's fucking great. It's fucking great, guys.
Kind of cool how they've modernized the Daily Bugle too. Like, I mean, to be honest, like no one really gets the news from the newspaper anymore. I understand that was a very, very big part of Peter Parker's upbringing as being a photographer for the Daily Bugle, which, I mean, who's to say he couldn't end up becoming the photographer for the Daily Bugle in terms of like Instagram content or online articles or something like that. But it is kind of nice to see them kind of modernize it now. Because no one uses newspapers unless you're painting your walls or something.
Or like Adam Sandler, Big Daddy, if you pee or spill milk, you can just use newspaper to. Anyways, Dune will return to IMAX as it approaches $100 million at the domestic box office, coming back on December 3rd for a limited time. Fucking bravo, Dune. Bravo,
Yeah,
dude.
absolutely.
Like they fucking deserve all the money that they're making on this. And thankfully, because it's gotten the reception it's gotten, we are getting Dune 2. And who knows how much fucking money that'll make, man. I'm telling you, it's gonna be so good, guys. It's gonna
Yeah.
be so good. I'm so
Yeah,
good.
I was a
especially because
little upset because we couldn't watch Dune on HBO Max because I wanted to show my dad when my parents came into town,
Oh, but
and
they
it
took
already
it off.
left. Yeah, so we ended
yeah.
up watching Tenet instead.
I mean, Tenet's okay. Tenet's okay.
Yeah.
That's okay. Jenesy, what were you gonna say?
No, I'm sure Dune 2 is gonna sweep, especially because this one will actually have Zendaya in it. Like she's gonna have to be in like the whole movie.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Unfortunately. Unfortunately, they did her dirty like that. But
Yeah.
well, I guess
It's fine.
we'll
They
have to
did
see
me
it.
dirty. I was excited.
There's some cool stuff like that they're going to be able to do just based on like kind of like relatively like where they are in the story. Because next we have like the whole amp up of them working with who, and we'll see. I'm dropping spoilers for you guys. You gotta go see the fucking movie because it's good. You need to go fucking see that movie. Oh my god, it's gonna be so great.
Go watch the movie, or you could just go, you could just go ahead and do one of these,
Who fucking reads? You know what I
old-
mean? Who fucking reads these days?
Clearly, us. You're
Us.
outnumbered here.
Yeah.
You're outnumbered here, bud.
That's fair.
Also,
That's
you do read because considering these show notes,
Yeah, you definitely read. Fucking liar.
Even fucking Mike in the chat
just
says,
a different
wow.
form of
You-
reading.
You
My-
also were the only one in the Dune review who had actually read all of Dune. I hadn't finished it. Yeah, don't fucking lie to me, Ernell.
I haven't read all of Dune because there's like 18 books, but I have read the
Yeah.
first 3.
But you read the first, yeah.
And I have read the Lord of the Rings books a number of times that I'm not very proud of.
Don't fucking lie to me.
I've read Dante's Inferno like 3 times.
I've read that
Well,
twice.
that's
I read that
something to
twice.
read.
That's a pretty
That's
good.
something
It's
to
a
read.
difficult read.
It's
I haven't even touched
depending on
those.
which translation you have. Oh my god.
I haven't even touched those. I mean, like I've told you guys, I'm not convinced that I know how to read. I've just memorized a lot of words. And the words in those books I haven't memorized. So it's going to be a shit show.
Even Mike in the chat
That's
says,
fair.
wow, smart man here thinks we can read. I've read the Iliad and Odyssey like 8 times. Those are good books.
Oh, nice.
Iliad and Odyssey are really fucking good. Dude.
Classic.
I like Odyssey more. I like the Odyssey a little bit more. But the Iliad it's not bad. It's not bad. We are nerds and fucking dweebs here, guys. I'm sorry to all of our
I fucking
listeners
love
that
it.
are like,
I love
the
it, though.
fuck are these nerds doing in here? I mean, like, listen. Anybody who knows me on a deeply personal level knows that like I'm borderline Lord of the Rings like guy. So if you ever have questions about the rings, let me fucking know because I
Yeah, it goes like Ernell Pearson, Stephen Colbert, J.R.R. Tolkien.
I mean, Stephen Colbert's got a one up on me. Stephen Colbert's definitely got a
Yeah.
up on because he's like on the fucking spot. I have to like, because it's been a while since I fucking read like any of the Lord of the Rings books. I kind of have to like dig into my brain a little bit deep for some of the questions. So they're kind of like, oh fuck, but yeah.
That's how I am with
Yeah.
Harry Potter.
You need to know anything, and Stephen Colbert is not replying. Just let me know. Okay, I got you. And that, my friends, has been little ways. When, Jesus, fucking breaking things again. I hate everything. In the meantime, we're gonna go ahead and move to the helm. Woo!
Welcome to the helm.
All right, guys. Do either of you want to read? Because you guys can
Sure.
read if you would like to. All right.
We did just say we like reading.
I literally don't know how to read. So
Okay. All right. Xander, go ahead and take our first story, my friend.
All right. We got some anime news here. Hayao Miyazaki returning to Studio Ghibli for one last movie. This article is from Evan Valentine from comicbook.com. Article reads, Studio Ghibli remains one of the most legendary studios that work in the field of animation in Japan, with last year seeing their latest film, Earwig and the Witch, taking a departure from their traditional two-dimensional animation and instead diving into computer-generated graphics for this magical tale. Now, it seems as though prolific creator Hayao Miyazaki is coming out of retirement, once again to create one last movie for Studio Ghibli, which is confirmed to be the adaptation of the 1937 popular novel How Do You Live, which will be the final film for the animator, it seems. In a recent interview with the New York Times, Miyazaki described the upcoming movie as a fantasy on a grand scale, with the article itself diving into the description of the original novel. Quote, the story concerns a 15-year-old boy in Tokyo, small for his age and fond of mischief, whose father has recently died. In the English translation by Bruno Navasky, published in October, the boy gazes out at the city and is overwhelmed. The watching self, the self being watched, and furthermore, the self becoming conscious of all this, the self observing itself by itself from afar. All those various selves overlapped in his heart, and suddenly he began to feel dizzy. What did I just read?
Really glad I didn't read that because that would have been a shit show.
Hayao Miyazaki just coming in here and the novel just
Like
give
this-
us that magic, man.
Yeah, I'm like reading this and I'm imagining like Inception and Tenet like merged into one, and I'm just like, wait, what is what? Huh?
Like, of course he fucking picked this, right? Anyways, continue.
Yeah. Anyway, Miyazaki has been creating anime for decades, helping to create Studio Ghibli in 1985, following decades of work within the field. This would hardly be the first time that Hayao has come out of retirement, having done so before. Imagine, like, it's like one of those things like, yeah, all right, I'm done, deuces. Oh, wait, never mind, I'm back. All right, logic. Though this certainly seems... Sorry, I had to call out my homeboy from PG County.
I just
anyway.
want to die. Anyways.
Though this certainly seems as though it might be his last, within Ghibli, Miyazaki's son, Goro Miyazaki, Goro, wow, damn, okay, what a name, is continuing his father's legacy via directing projects of his own, leading the recent movie for the studio in Earwig and the Witch. In recent days, Ghibli has made headlines with the live stage play adaptation of Spirited Away, which is set to land in Japan and give a brand new take on the classic film that gave the studio its first Oscar for Best Animated Picture. I've actually seen that one too. On top of this news, Ghibli is still working on opening its very own amusement park. Wait.
Let's go. Dude, I
What?
want it so bad. Let's go. I need it.
High key, anyone who's familiar with Studio Ghibli, I just want to go for the food, which will recreate some of the biggest locales from their classic films. End of article.
Jenesy, have you watched any of Miyazaki's work? Spirited Away, Princess Mononoke, like Kiki's Delivery Service, like those are the biggest ones.
Kiki's Delivery Service. Yeah. I was like, that name is too familiar for me to have not watched any of it.
What about Howl's Moving Castle? Did you catch that one?
A little bit. Spirited Away is same thing. Like, I don't know if you very well could like put it on for me and I'd be like, oh fuck yeah, of course I watched this. Or I've just like seen enough of it on the internet to feel like I've watched it. There are a lot of shows that fall into that. Like, I've seen enough fan edits, I know what happens. Like
That's
you.
how I am with Venom, Let There Be
cams.
Carnage.
Yep.
Yeah. I've watched enough love fan edits to know that this show should be about love. You know, I've watched enough to know.
Yeah, fan cams of Carnage. Yeah.
Yeah.
Need some fan cams.
You know what?
Woody
You know what
Harrelson.
happens.
I'm gonna make a fan cam for Woody Harrelson and Venom 2.
Oh dear God.
I mean, I would love that.
The thing is, you make that and tag Matthew McConaughey in that, and then he'll actually see it. He'll actually see it. Woody Harrelson will actually see it because Matthew will be like, "Yo, you see this?" And then Woody Harrelson will be like, "Oh shit," you know.
I hate that there's zero explanation for why that makes sense, but it makes sense.
You don't know about their friendship?
No, I didn't know Woody Harrelson and Matthew McConaughey.
In order to get to Woody Harrelson, you have to get to Matthew McConaughey first, and vice versa. If you want to get to Matthew McConaughey, you got to get to Woody Harrelson first.
So you like his lawyer? Is he like his lawyer? Is that like our relationship, me and Xander? Like you have to get through Xander to get to me? Like,
yeah, pretty much.
Okay. No, I would say it's probably closer to you and Devin. Like if someone posts something funny about Devin, you'll be obsessed with it. And then you'll be like, Devin, look at this cool thing that somebody posted about you, like that. You know, like Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively and Taylor Swift. You feel me?
Yeah, it's like real life social media. You have to work the algorithm.
Yeah.
I'm here for it. Anyways, I'm a really big Miyazaki fan. I've been a fan of all of his work since I was a fucking kid. I mean, Princess Mononoke is my favorite one out of all of them. But he's just made extravagant work over the years. And having him retire a while back of his last project was a little bit heart crushing. But seeing him come back and be like, I got one more. The fucking Keanu Reeves meme, like John Wick, I'm thinking I'm back. Like, I'm so fucking here for something like this. Every day, I fucking fall for it every time. I'm like, let's go, because I love a good hype moment, guys. I love a good hype moment.
Yeah, that's the thing, though. I think he understands that. I think he understands his power as a creator, and I feel like he's like, yeah, I'm just gonna tell everyone I'm fucking done, but I ain't done yet. Like,
he sure ain't done.
Like low key, he knows he's got like maybe like 3 more films left in him, and he's just gonna be like, all right, I'm gonna tell him I'm done. But wait.
But wait, there's more. You know what I'm saying? There is more. I'm so fucking here for it, guys. I'm so here for it. I am unfortunately not here for our next story here. And Jenesy, I'll take this one for you because I don't want to make you read. You know,
I can read. I know how to read. I'll read it.
Do you want it? You want it? You can take it.
I can read.
Let's do it.
I can read.
Let's do it. Go for it, Jenesy. Go for it.
This is about Star Wars. I know Star Wars words. Let's do this shit. Do the shit.
Let's do it.
Okay. Star Wars, Rangers of the New Republic seemingly on hold, may be absorbed into The Mandalorian. Star Wars, Rangers of the New Republic is seemingly on hold, with comments from Lucasfilm president Kathleen Kennedy suggesting that ideas for the spinoff may be absorbed entirely into The Mandalorian. Star Wars, Rangers of the New Republic was announced just under a year ago, with many fans believing at the time that it would likely star the Mandalorian's Cara Dune, played by Gina Carano. However, did I fuck that up?
No, that was 100%, but Gina Carano's gross. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. Sick.
She's a turf. She's a fucking turf. So fuck her.
Fuck her. We don't get behind turfs.
It's very devastating, honestly, considering she was in my top 5. She was in my top 5, and then that came out, and I was like,
specific top 5 list of women I want to crush my head like a watermelon, like specifically that. And then I found out she's a turf, and I'm like, I don't want your legs anywhere fucking near me, Gina Carano. Get the fuck out of here. All right,
we don't fuck with turfs.
Damn. Anyways, continue.
It is very sad. Okay. However, recent comments made by Kennedy in an interview with Empire magazine seemingly suggest that at present the show isn't moving forward in its production schedule. We'd never written any scripts or anything on that, says Kennedy in the interview, before further stating that some of that will figure into future episodes, I'm sure, of the next iteration of Mandalorian. While Kennedy's comments seem to show a bleak future for Rangers of the New Republic, it's important to note that there has not yet been any official confirmation from Disney stating that the show has been canceled. That being said, for many Star Wars fans, Kennedy's comments may not come as much of a surprise, alongside the fact that both Disney and Lucasfilm have been relatively quiet about the show since announcing it last year. A previous article published by Variety in May reported that the show wasn't in active development. While Disney stopped short of announcing that Rangers of the New Republic would heavily feature Cara Dune, a potential role in the show for the character would have become far less likely following a fallout between Disney and Dune actor Gina Carano. Carano was let go from her contract with Lucasfilm back in February following a social media post by the actress that Lucasfilm called abhorrent and unacceptable. Shit! While the future may not look too bright for Rangers of the New Republic, Star Wars fans can still look forward to the upcoming release of The Book of Boba Fett. The series is set to debut on Disney Plus on December 29th.
Yep. Big yikes. Big fucking yikes. So
what was the post?
So for reference, yes. So Gina Carano had put out some tweets that was talking about racism at one point, and it was replying to someone saying, in my experience, screaming at someone that they are a racist when they are indeed not a racist, and any post or research you do will show you those exact facts, and I'm sorry, these people are not educators, they are cowards and bullies. And then just talking.
I actually have a article pulled up on that. If
do you? Like, yeah. Go ahead. Give us a brief little synopsis there.
Okay, so this comes from Esquire magazine amidst the Gina Carano controversy. It says right here, on February 2nd, the actress shared multiple insensitive posts via her Instagram stories. One post compared America's political divide to Nazi Germany. Another story showed a picture of people in cloth masks with the caption, "Meanwhile in California." Carano removed both posts by the following afternoon, but considering this is far from Carano's first brush with the spreading of insensitive content through her social media accounts, we'll get to that shortly, it didn't take Lucasfilm long enough to remove the actress from The Mandalorian. It goes on to say, basically going into not only her Instagram posts, but her Twitter and everything, and it's very just hardcore right-wing insensitive posts.
Yeah, just very not considerate of other people's shit. You know?
Yeah, like I don't want to get too far into politics, but there is something to be said about very extreme right-sided insensitivity.
The one I will point out to kind of just give people like reference here to like an idea of what we're talking about. Gina Carano in a conversation with a Joe Pagliarulo, who was talking about women fighting in the UFC. Gina Carano sent a reply. They're mad because I won't put pronouns in my bio to show my support for trans lives. After months of harassing me in every way, I decided to put 3 very controversial words in my bio: beep/bop/boop. I'm not against trans lives at all. They need to find less abusive representation. But then continued to continue that conversation with replies of other people, just basically just like trying to act like she was in support of trans lives and you know, in support of marginalized groups essentially, and was just exposing her fucking ass left and right, just saying things that are just like, if you actually gave a fuck about this shit, you wouldn't have this opinion on it. It was just like, one reply: I don't think trans people would like all of you trying to force a woman to put something in her bio through harassment and name calling every day for months, such as racist, transphobe, all this other stuff. You're fat, you're weird, you're ugly. And she just like, she got super defensive about a lot of stuff. So like, obviously there's a lot of conversation to be had there. And Disney was like, look, you're not on the right side of this. We can't have you here if you're not on the fucking right side of this. And unfortunately, a lot of people, it was big conversation around that. Now, as far as the story here is concerned, duh. if Gina Carano is supposed to be a big part of what the show was, I'm assuming it would have been easy for us to recollect the idea that it was just not going to go forward. Now, unfortunately, I put this in here because this comes off on the tail of other Star Wars properties, unfortunately, being canceled or put on indefinite hiatus. And it's wild to see Star Wars is kind of like dangling the fish in front of us a little bit and just throwing it off to the side every time we get close. I don't know. Are you guys worried about Star Wars at all? You guys feel like Star Wars is doing it, or is it just like one of those like small, well, just depending on the circumstances?
To be honest, when it comes to Star Wars content, I will take whatever they're willing to get put in front of me. But I'm not really going to give a shit until it's Old Republic related, because that's where my heart lies. I want to see a series revolving around Darth Revan. I want to see the world of the Knights of the Old Republic. Like, I want to see that. I've played the games till they were burnt into my hard drive of my Xbox 360. I've played a little bit of the Old Republic, the MMORPG game, which, I mean, it has its moments. The cutscenes are way better than the actual gameplay, in my opinion. Don't at me. Sure. I want to see a series come to life. I want to see that in front of me. Please, por favor. But yeah, no, it is what it is. Star Wars has been in a weird kind of funk ever since the prequels ended. It's just been kind of like, it has its ups and downs. There's never like a definitive rise in Star Wars content. And even when there is, quote unquote, a rise, it's kind of like, it's very divisive amongst fans.
With the Mandalorian kind of being the one exception, because Mandalorian has been general consensus of this show is fucking great, and it is. And it is a very good show.
That show also pulled in a lot of people who weren't like traditional Star Wars fans.
Yes,
exactly.
Yeah, pulled in everybody.
Because I mean, it's
like my wife.
not even just a good Star Wars story, it's a good story, like generally speaking.
Yeah.
And I mean, Pedro Pascal being the wonderful fucking actor he is, you know, like we could talk all day about how fucking awesome Mandalorian was. But I mean, like it's interesting to see that like with the success of Mandalorian, that there's so many other things for Star Wars like starting to fall apart. And it like kind of makes me worried about what the hell's coming next, because they just finished with the last trilogy. There's more stuff to be had here. I'm wondering what they're trying to work towards next.
I think I struggle with Star Wars content because I'm not like a hater in terms of the new Star Wars stuff. Like I actually am pretty anti the hating stuff because I'm just like it's not that serious. You know, like people take it far too seriously. They're like, "Oh my god, I hate anything that was after, 4, 5, 6." And I'm like, "I don't care. It's not that like if they're movies or TV shows or whatever. Like we can just watch it and enjoy watching a show, you know." Um but I don't get like I feel like where I struggle with it is that now that Disney has it, they want it to be like another MCU. They want it to be like a cinematic universe where you are keyed into all of the shows, all of the movies, and you're super hype about it. And I mean, one, it's just hard to like get that committed to a thing. You know, I already have the MCU, I already have Taylor Swift, I already have Harry Styles. Like adding on another level of that kind of commitment is it's just a lot.
Okay.
I'm only one person. I can't handle all of this. But
Well, I mean, you're given a little bit of an easy route with Harry Styles because now he's in the MCU, so now you can just follow one whole thing. So One Direction was actually a multiverse within the MCU.
I hate it.
I love it. But so it's just, and I mean, like, it's not that I like won't show up for these things, but it's like a lot of them I'll watch if they look good. I still haven't finished The Mandalorian. Not any shade to The Mandalorian. It's just I know, and I know that I need to watch it, but I'm a very emotional watcher. I'm a very emotional watcher of things, so I have to watch it like when it's the right time to watch something, and that's like just very much dependent on I've watched season 1. I'm like probably halfway through season 2, but I'm not invested in the ending, and I don't want to watch it if I'm not invested. I know, because I also know that the ending is very intense and emotional and important to people, and I know that if I finish it at the times that I've been watching it, I won't be as excited about the ending as I need to be. And I think that's probably just a weird thing, like watching movies with a mood disorder. Like I very much like watching. I mean,
now I can't judge you. Now I can't fucking judge you.
Well, see,
I mean, you can judge me. Why the fuck not?
See, I think
everybody else
you
does.
need to watch up until the final episode of season 2,
Okay.
and then wait for like a nice evening, get a couple of glasses of wine, get some popcorn. All right,
Tissue box,
and set the mood lighting and everything. Make it feel as much like a theater as you possibly can. Crank the volume all the way fucking up. You know, that way you have that theater kind of vibe. Because the finale of season 2, you're gonna want that.
Oh
Okay.
my god, yes.
I have watched I've been watching it like sporadically as I travel. So like over the summer when I had that like month of being all over the place, that was my like
Utah
plane
and
show.
shit.
Yeah. And that was really nice because nobody could bother me.
No one will fucking bother me at all. I can just tune out and pretend the world doesn't fucking exist. Like the world isn't on fucking fire.
That's how I am like watching things on like duty. Like when I'm on duty, like it's just me in the office. I'm just like, all right, so what show did I say I was gonna watch that I haven't watched in the last like 3 months? Okay, I'm gonna catch up to this.
Well, I was just gonna say really quick. It's funny because like Devin was asking me a while back, like how between everything that I do, between like Good Kraken, like being a dad and like caretaker, stuff like that I do like in my everyday life, how do I have time to play video games and shows and stuff? And the answer is I don't. But I fit it into little moments. It's little moments. So if I'm making dinner, I'm also watching a show or a movie. If I'm eating dinner, I'm watching a show or a movie. If I think the only time that like moment of passing that I'm not doing that is when I'm in the shower, because even when I'm pooping, I pull out my phone and watch like a little bit of a movie or a show. And that's kind of how I just force myself to keep up. It's just moments of transition, like in between main pivotal things. Because at work, I can't fucking do that. When I'm doing things like editing a show, no, like I gotta hear all of her stupid voices pretty clearly. So I have to do it in those little in between moments. So that's maybe that's what Jenesy needs. Maybe that's what Jenesy needs.
That's how I maintain. Well, see, my little moment time is reserved for listening to music because that's how I maintain my status as being in the top 0.1% of Taylor Swift's listenership.
Hey.
Thank you.
I love you, Jenesy.
Of all my accolades,
so much.
of all my accolades, that I have maintained that for years, and I will be fucking pissed if these motherfuckers coming out for the Red album re-release, like they're just people coming out of the woodworks, and it's like I've been here for 10 fucking years.
I've actually been meaning to ask you, Jenesy.
Like we gotta get you and Taylor Swift in the same room. We gotta get you and Taylor Swift in the same room. We gotta make this happen.
I want to actually ask Jenesy a question involving Taylor Swift right now. So I was at the comic book store the other day, which it doubles as like comic books and anime and records.
Yeah, and Taylor Swift was there. Taylor Swift was there. Yeah.
Yeah. T Swift was there, and she gave me a choice. It was like she was like Lawrence Fishburne in The Matrix. But she had two.
I think she does
right
have
here.
a house.
There was red
God,
and red Taylor's version. And as someone who's not a traditional T Swift listener, it immediately came to my mind, like, how are we supposed to know which one is which just looking at the cover?
So do you know why there are Taylor's versions?
Yes.
Okay. For those of you who don't know, Ernell's looking at us like, what the fuck is happening? For those of you that don't know, like many artists, Taylor Swift does not own her masters. And so she was at a point when her contract was up after her 6th studio album was recorded, where she decided to change record labels because she had a not great relationship with the record label that she was with. At that point, she no longer had any right to her music, except in her contract, it stated that any songs that she was listed as a writer on, she could re-record after 5 years of their initial release. Yes. And unlike most artists, Taylor Swift has writing credits on every single one of her songs. She has at least partially written every single one of her songs. And so as a way to have the rights to her music, there's a whole lot of, this has been like a whole saga. So there's a whole lot of stuff around that. That's a real simplification of the situation. But now she is re-releasing her music so that she can have masters to them, right? She can have the rights to them. And so with that, she is not only re-recording the music, but she's also releasing songs that she that had not been released before. It's a whole thing. It's a very exciting time to be a Taylor Swift fan. Very exciting.
Sure.
Now, because of that, she wants them to be very similar. There are differences in the covers. I mean, as you can tell, she is a lot younger in some of her older ones, like Red and Prior. Red, she looks pretty similar to how she looks now. But to answer your question, Xander, the difference in like the visual aesthetics of the cover art versus, the real way that you can tell is if it says Taylor's version, it's re-recording and it's going to have all the bonus tracks. It's going to be very cool. But visually, the original Red has her in a different kind of hat. It has her in a different kind of hat, and then in the Red Taylor's version, she's kind of like in a car looking over her shoulder with a different hat.
Because I remember seeing the album art and stuff like that, and I'm like looking at two different ones, but I'm like, as someone who's not a normal like Taylor Swift fan or anything like that,
why are they
how would I know? Like, let's say I know someone who's a Taylor Swift fan and I want to get them a gift like of getting them the vinyl and stuff like that. Yeah. How would I know that I'm getting the right one? And I can't imagine how many people. Okay.
It'll say Taylor's version on it.
I don't remember if it actually said
also
Taylor's version on it.
It will.
Okay.
It will. And it has every Taylor's version album has like a very specific like font that says Taylor's version. And it does. There's been kind of a division among Taylor's fans of like if you like the re-records or not. I, for one, am all about artists owning their music. So I'm like, obviously, I'm going to go Taylor's version. And yeah, and also like Red Taylor's version is just a huge thing in general, partially because that vinyl has 4 records in it.
Yeah.
Because the album is 2 hours and 10 minutes long.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I just think if you're buying someone a gift, like if it's between Red and Red Taylor's version is going to be more interesting.
Okay. Yeah, I apologize for the tangent because I'm big like music news, anything involving like the music industry and stuff like that. I love.
Yeah.
I'll just leave
I wanted to.
I'll leave a timestamp for the Taylor rant, for the T Swift rant in our show notes. Mike in the chat says my sisters like that. We got my sisters T Swift tickets a few Christmases ago, and they cried, and they're 27 and 30, which is honestly like I feel like that's the right age because I feel like most like T Swift fans have been for a while now, the past decade that they've been listening to T Swift and more. That definitely makes sense.
Yeah, I'm gonna be the first to admit I can't get into it. But I don't knock anyone who listens to like I'm over the like high school me like, oh my god, you listen to Taylor Swift? Fuck
at
off.
this
like,
point, it's not cute to hate Taylor Swift fans. Like it's not.
It's not like, cute to hate any kind of fan of anything, honestly. At this point,
truly.
like it's like because like we the way I see it is we are nerds for something. Mm-hmm. Whatever it doesn't matter. Even if you're not a traditional, if you're not even a traditional nerd, like I'm not a nerd. I go fishing, blah blah blah, and I drink beer. Well, you're a nerd for fucking bass, okay? All right, that's plain and simple. All right,
I love it.
You are a fucking nerd for fishing.
You are
can
a
talk
nerd
hours
for fishing.
on your tackle box.
My wife is a
comics.
One Direction nerd. You guys got to experience Rainbow Bondage Bear. I can't tell you how many hours of my life I have spent listening to her talk about Rainbow Bondage Bear. Like there is One Direction lore, and she is a nerd for it.
She very much is. She very much is.
And the thing that I want to express here, especially on Good Kraken, because I think I can speak on Good Kraken's behalf on this, is that we respect nerddom.
Yes.
Of any kind.
Yes, of course. Absolutely, you fucking do that. I don't really have a segue, so we're going into hands on deck. There's no fucking segue.
Speaking of being a nerd, let's talk about
no goddamn segue I could have made for going from One Direction and T Swift into this. But anyways, Hands on Deck is where we talk a little bit about a show or a game or a movie that we have recently watched, and we try to pitch them to each other, and we try to pitch them to you guys at home. Jenesy, give us something that you've been watching.
What the fuck talk about being a nerd. I'm really outing myself today, guys. Okay, so there is a universe called the Vampire Diaries universe, and I call it that because once you get like more than one spin-off show, you're no longer just a show. You're a universe, right?
Yes, no, it's true. So, it's true.
I have not watched the entirety of Vampire Diaries because it is one of the worst pieces of media on the face of the planet.
But it's so fucking addicting. It's so fucking addicting. Oh my god. Okay, so real quick before you go, just kind of set up here. We have about 20 minutes on this. We got to split this pretty evenly here.
Okay.
But,
yeah.
But on top of that, though, when I had sciatic nerve problems a while back, and I had to go to the hospital for it, and they gave me a shot in my ass. Now they basically said, you're going to be out of it for the next 3 days. You got to take this medicine to get this taken care of. And my little sister Shanna had to come pick me up, took me home, and they were like, hey, I got a show for us to watch. I was like, bet. And I was just out of my fucking mind because I'm all drugged up. We spent the entire day watching Vampire Diaries, and they were trying to explain it to me, and I was like, and at first I was like, I'm not signing up for this, but then it started. but then it started and I couldn't stop. And so for the rest of the week while I was drugged up, I just burned through so much Vampire Diaries. I don't remember any of it because I was fucking drugged out of my mind. So I might watch the show again.
Yeah,
Sorry,
I
Xander.
honestly, here's my recommendation. This is how I've been watching it. I started watching the third spin-off show from Vampire Diaries, which is called Legacies. Legacies is actually a well-done show, and it's all like supernatural shit, which I can totally get behind. It's all like witches and vampires and werewolves and all this cool shit. Legacies is the takes place in the same town that Vampire Diaries does, but it's the children of the stars of like Vampire Diaries and the originals, which is one of the other spin-off shows. And it's all of their children in this like private like magic school, which is like a vibe, but it's more modern. So it started in 2018 and they're on their 4th season now. And it's very cool, has wonderful like racial and sexuality representation in like a very natural way. Whereas like Vampire Diaries started in something ridiculous like 2009 or some shit. So they didn't stand a chance in terms of like seamlessly integrating different types of characters. Whereas Legacies is just like they have the types of characters, the types of topics and stuff that we want to have, and they do it very seamlessly. And they work in like magic and vampires and shit. So it's very fun. I love it. And so I watched that, and then now I'm watching the originals. And I tried watching Vampire Diaries a few months ago, and I couldn't stick with it because it's just so hard to watch.
Because it's
so
really bad.
cringy.
Because it's really
It's
bad.
so bad.
Right? Like,
It's basically Pretty Little Liars with vampires. Like, let's be honest.
Which I mean, like Pretty Little Liars is like
it's
a whole other
watchable.
like level of things, right? But it's like you add the vampire skin onto it. You're like,
I remember when my wife was going through the Pretty Little Liars phase and stuff like that. I was like, oh no. And immediately after she went into Grey's Anatomy, I'm just like, no.
Well, that's a good show.
Grey's Anatomy is a good show. You have to be in a mindset
No.
for it. You have to be in a mindset.
No.
For it. No.
Why
Okay.
watch Grey's Anatomy when you can watch House? That's all I gotta say.
My boy.
You
My
just
boy.
said a lot about yourself right there.
Love my boy. Looking out. It's true. He's not wrong.
I did fuck with House.
House is the greatest
It's
show
fun.
in American history. Period.
That's false. That's
Period.
wrong.
No, it's true.
okay
It's
that
true.
you
It's
think
100%. What is
Does
it? Called
House
Vampire
lie to
Diaries?
me?
You're wrong.
that. Lie to Me was really good. Lie to Me was really
Lie to
good.
Me was really good, and it got
I'm
canceled.
so mad that
entirely
got
too soon.
canceled.
God damn it.
Fucking piss off.
Ugh.
Fucking piss off.
Oh, fucking terrible world. Terrible world. Did you
So,
have any other last
Xander-
thoughts on that?
Oh no. I
Okay.
mean I've said what I needed to say. Vampire
Perfect.
Diaries is trash and I love it. Xander, since you are out here being Mr. like critical TV watcher, judging my shit, what the fuck are you watching?
Yeah, what have you watched or played? What
No,
do you got?
the only reason is because like I immediately like when I remember like everyone getting on the Vampire Diaries hype train, I initially had that thought, it's Pretty Little Liars with vampires, but also at the same time I was dating someone who's like very into True Blood, and even that was. I'm over vampire dramas. I'm sick of it.
Why?
If I want to watch something about vampires, I'm gonna watch The Strain. I want something gritty. I want something fucking.
Like,
Because like vampires, like, why does there have
What's
to
it
be
called?
drama with? There's
the strain.
The Strain.
Yeah,
But I'm just like,
it's
if
pretty
there's
shit.
vampires, let them be monsters. Let them be like fucking vicious. Why do?
That's the originals, dude.
Why are we
the originals.
crying?
That is the originals.
Why are we crying?
The originals, they just tear
Yeah,
through
they just
fucking
shit
New
up. They
Orleans.
just fucking shit up.
They're
There you
like
go.
But that is a
murder.
That is a spin-off of Vampire Diaries.
But
So you have to get through
I am
Vampire
glad-
Diaries before you can watch originals.
I
You don't
am
have to
glad
watch
that Jenesy was a little bit negative towards the Vampire Diaries in a sense, because I thought I was going to be going into this being a negative Nancy. So I finally got around to watching Gunpowder Milkshake.
Are you a hater?
And-
I love that movie.
I want it. There's so much that I do like about it, but there's the one like overarching like thing that I dislike that just detracts from the entire movie as a whole.
Okay.
And it's because like when I first saw the trailers for this, I'm looking at this and I'm like, all right, we got Karen Gillan, we got Michelle Yeoh, we have fuck, what's her name?
Yeah, love
Carla
her.
Gugino, Angela Bassett,
The
Lena
cast
Headey,
is
like
phenomenal.
Just
all these
powerful.
phenomenal powerhouse female actresses. And first off, the choreography could have been better. They could have done better with the choreography. That was the main thing. Like from the first scene in the bowling alley where it's like a side scrolling kind of view and it was so stiff and you could tell like if you were looking at it with a watchful eye, it almost seemed like they literally filmed it piece by piece and then sped it up for the sake of the film. And I'm like, why didn't you just take more time? Take more time and effort with the choreography to sell this shit. Because I wanted so much to like it. I really wanted to like the whole.
If
Like there again, there's bits
can
and
see that.
pieces of it that I really liked.
if I
Go ahead.
could, for me,
ARB.
the movie felt like the movie. Okay, for anybody who knows this about me, I have a really hard time with Quentin Tarantino movies, and I felt like this movie wanted to be Quentin Tarantino so fucking bad. So
Yeah.
fucking bad it wanted to be a Tarantino movie, and that's what turned me off to it. Whereas like it was Tarantino in some ways, but then it was James Gunn in other ways, and it was
Yeah.
both of those things simultaneously in none of the ways that I really liked it. It was a fun
Exactly.
movie. It had some fun aspects to it. It had some coolness to it,
Right.
but I would have much rather preferred to just watch John Wick.
Yeah. And that's what I felt like. And it might just be kind of like the John Wick kind of like umbrella or like shadow
Yeah.
that's looming over it, where like you're looking at this and like, oh, they just wanted to be like John Wick.
Yeah. Yeah.
More specifically, like the later John Wicks, like where it started to get a little bit more campy, because it does have that campy kind of feel. It has like those. It has that very like weird kind of depth of field shots where like you have the person like in the forefront, but then you have like a blurred background, but also the people in the background are also in focus, and it was just like all parts of it. I'm just like there's so much to this movie that could have been phenomenal, and it just wasn't. And it makes me so sad because I love everyone attached to this movie, like actor wise. Like I love Karen Gillan. I even fucking Paul Giamatti. I love Paul Giamatti. Who doesn't like Liar Liar?
He's an Oscar-winning
like,
actor, so like,
like like it's just fuck. It was so, and the dialogue,
yeah,
I was
yeah.
I was fighting to stay awake. Like they're like, because my dad he loves this shit, but he also loves like Hallmark movies and shit like that. The reason I have to talk like this, is because he's also in the living room right now. But fuck, I wanted to like it so bad, and honestly, I'm gonna go on record and say why is Michelle Yeoh the best part in anything she's in?
Period.
Bro,
Period.
Michelle Yeoh, holy crap.
Amazing.
When she took out that fucking chain, bro, like
Yeah.
she and it was funny because like my dad was like, "See what I don't get," and like this is why I don't understand why he likes Hallmark movies and like the shitty fucking movies that he like says are phenomenal and are worthy of all these accolades. He's like, what I don't
Working
get
on
is they
those
have
strokes.
access to all these like automatic weapons and they're choosing all these melee weapons and stuff like that. But like, why don't they just get some guns? I'm like, Dad, haven't you figured it out? It's campy as fuck and it's for the flourish of melee fighting.
Yeah.
Okay, the fact that these women can go ahead and grab a fucking chain and beat the ass out of like 10 other guys that have automatic weapons.
Have
Like
guns.
that's the point. That's the fucking
That's why
point.
you came. Yeah. Yeah.
Now
But
with
yeah, but like, honestly, hands down, Michelle Yeoh with a chain, awesome,
dude,
fucking awesome. I
I'm
want
so
Michelle Yeoh as Ghost Rider. Let's fucking get
I am so here for this Michelle Yeoh revival, dude.
Yeah.
Like her popping up in
Yes.
Shang-Chi was just it's fucking magnificent. We need her back in fucking everything. We need her in fucking everything,
absolutely.
dude.
But Gunpowder Milkshake, as a whole, it was a great idea, a great set of characters, a great cast. It's just the execution
Yeah,
dude.
I will go on record to say that like it is it's for somebody. There's people that will like this movie. It's just because of the kind of movie that it was, because it was intentionally trying to be this sort of like campy Tarantino take on a John Wick story. It didn't hit for me either. And there was some cool stuff in it. There was some really, really dope stuff in it. Like having an entire like elite group of women just out here fucking beating ass. Incredible.
Or like the armless fight.
Oh, dude.
With
Like,
their base,
fucking
with their base as a library.
Yeah, there's just a lot of little things in that movie that were just really, really dope. It's for somebody. It just was not for me either.
It felt like Sucker Punch to me in a sense.
Yeah,
like Sucker Punch fell flat.
I would argue that Gunpowder Milkshake's definitely better than Sucker Punch. But,
I would too. Yeah. It's been a cool minute, but I would too.
Yeah, I mean, like,
yeah, very, very much so. But I feel like Sucker Punch tried to do a similar kind of thing, but the execution just wasn't there.
Yeah,
It's the Old Guard. Did you watch that? Did you guys watch the Old Guard?
I did watch the Old Guard. I did watch the Old Guard.
I fucked with that.
That movie was pretty.
I heard
cool.
good reviews on that. That's going to be the next one I check out.
Real cool. Mike in the chat says, "Did you guys watch the new Nick Cage movie that was filmed in Portland? You mean Pig? I have not watched it yet.
I have not seen that yet.
And I need to watch
not
it.
Yet.
Yeah.
I need to.
My mother-in-law just texted it to me this morning. She was like, "What?"
I have.
Wait, are we Nick Cage lovers or haters here?
Neutral.
God, dude, it depends
I don't know.
for me. It depends.
Wow,
I don't
you're
know
rare.
enough about.
You're rare.
I don't know enough about him. I don't,
because most people like it's usually like it's kind of like Swedish Fish or Black Licorice, where it's like you either love it or you hate it.
Like, yeah, for me, it just depends on the content. Like, I love National Treasure. Love National Treasure. Absolutely fucking sign me up for that.
National Treasure is a national treasure.
It is a national treasure. Face Off.
I'm gonna steal it.
Face Off was a great movie.
Yeah.
But then there's movies like Wicker Man. Then I'm like, just stop, Nick. Just stop, man. And then fucking what
about Con Air? What are your thoughts on Con Air?
Another national treasure.
For frame of reference, my dad loves that movie.
Of course he fucking does. Of course your fucking dad likes that movie. Oh my god. Yeah, no, Mike, I've also heard that Pig was surprisingly a fucking banger. So I will have to watch it. It's gotten really good reviews. Like, there's talk that it might be up for a few awards this year too. Like, it's supposedly a really good movie, so I will check that out soon. Like, in the meantime, for me, I had rewatched Arcane again because Arcane is that fucking good. And if you have not watched Arcane, I will repeat, you need to fucking watch Arcane. This show is the most incredible show I have ever fucking seen in my life, short of House. It is so fucking good. Oh my god, Arcane is fucking good. You need to watch Arcane if you have not yet. You do not need to know anything about League of Legends to watch this show. It is just a good story, front to back. I'm looking at you, Jenesy.
I know you are. I love it though, because I saw that fan edit and I was like, because at first I was like, oh my god, that is like half of the shit I watch is because I've seen like lesbian fan art or fan edits, and I just have to find out how queer it is.
Well, the beauty of it is that it's not just lesbian fan edits. It's actually just fan art, generally speaking, because those two characters are actually lesbian, and the interesting part is in the show, they are hot together. They're like tension between the two of them, because they don't admit fore and front out that they're like feeling each other. They just have this like dynamic between the two that is just palpable. It's just palpable. Like, she calls her Butterfly, and she like has a moment where she's like, oh my god, your hand got hurt, and she's like, oh, it's nothing. She like puts it to her mouth and gives her a little smooch, and I'm like, oh, let's go.
Alexa,
get it, baby
play,
girl,
Marvin
get it.
Gaye.
I'm telling you, dog, this show is so low-key gay. I'm so fucking here for it. This show's so good. So I rewatched Arcane again because it's very, very good. But on top of that, I started up a show on Netflix called Hellbound. It is a Korean show. Have you watched it, Xander? Have you watched it? Have you finished it?
It's on my watch list, but okay. I've been reading so many articles on it. Like, Like people are saying that it might be like overstepping Squid Game. Like
I wouldn't say that because Squid Game's on like a whole other level. Hellbound's pretty
okay.
fucking close though. It is extremely interesting. So premise for people at home or who have not heard of this movie, it is a Korean movie on Netflix, and as we all know, Korea's just been pumping out fucking content, pieces of gold left and fucking right the past couple of years. So this is another one that is definitely worth the watch. But the concept is that there are people in Korea that have been randomly getting a message from some spirit thing that is saying you're going to die on this date at this time. And this person that gets this message is like, what the fuck? And at first they're like, oh no, there's no way it's real. But then out of nowhere, the day and time comes and these 3 hulking fucking shadow beasts come out of nowhere and beat the absolute shit out of the person, and then takes their soul and sends it to hell with them. And it is like being live broadcasted, like people are seeing it in public. This isn't a like, oh, they're by themselves in their bedroom. Like people are seeing this happen, and then the 3 hulking beasts just disappear and nobody thinks anything of it. And now there's a cult that's in Korea, like a cultist religious group, like a, I guess you could say evangelist group, that are saying that like they're doing this because of God's will, and this is all because like people are sinning and so on and so forth. So it's got this sort of like overarching like socio-religious topic that kind of spreads over the overall like theme of the show. But it's I don't know. It's got some interesting stuff on it. There's a few things in it that I wish would be handled a little bit differently, but I'm not quite deep enough to know like. No, sorry, let me rephrase. I'm not quite deep enough into the show to say that confidently because I'm only 5 episodes in. I'm not quite at the end of it yet. But there is some stuff that is super fucking dope, and it is overall a really eerie, creepy vibe across the entire show because some stuff happens and everything goes fucking haywire by episode 3, and oh boy.
I would say one thing, just based on what sold me was the trailer. I definitely wanted to check it out, just based on the trailer, because I think one night when we were just like hanging out, we were just like looking at random like trailers and stuff like that, and I think I came across Hellbound. I might have watched it with you. Maybe you might have hopped off after that, but my biggest thing with Hellbound, from what I've seen so far, is the character design on these like shadow beasts coming from hell. They look a little like their faces and stuff like they look kind of like cartoonish.
That's kind of one of the things that I wish would be handled better because for whatever reason they just didn't really do the character like the creature design on these things very well because they're kind of just like really big like Hulk beasts but shrouded in smoke, and they're just black instead of green, and it's like there's these big 3 hulking beast things that just like gorilla smash the shit out of whoever they're trying to take their soul of, and they kind of look a little I don't know. They kind of look like an afterthought a little bit. Like the creature design on them was just so like this could have been way fucking cooler if they would have just put a little bit more like energy into making them look a certain way. I'm trying to find an image
right now. Because from what I remember, they look like I said, they look like they're straight from a fucking cartoon. Like I feel like they could have done them a lot creepier, considering the nature of this creature. I'm trying to find this.
Yeah.
Well, dude, I'm seeing like early concept art, and like the concept art looks so dope.
I gotta look into that. I gotta look into that. In the meantime, I don't want to take too long for our audio listeners or whatever, but Mike in the chat asked if I watched the My Hero Academia clip that he sent me, and I did, Mike. I watched it after we recorded Tuesday's episode.
What is this in reference to though?
Them trying to sell me on My Hero Academia because I haven't watched
you haven't started?
I haven't watched it yet. So I've had years that my friends have been telling me to watch my. Okay, all right, sounds good. Well, that's gonna be the end of the show. This has been Good Kraken.
Love you. Bye.
Bye, Xander. Bye, Xander.
Bye.
Fucking Jenesy hasn't watched My Hero yet either. I'm not giving her any hate.
Jenesy doesn't do shit.
Yeah,
I don't even know
that's
what that
I'm
is.
saying. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, right.
I'm just out here watching shows that ended 10 years ago. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I'm
no,
saying?
that's fair.
I recently watched Oh no! Oh no!
Yeah, that's hey, you're not Xander.
What's up?
Who is this? Who is this
Hey,
character we welcomed onto the show?
Who are you, my
They call
friend?
me Icy Hot.
Icy Hot.
They call you what now?
All right, that's
Icy hot? Jesus Christ.
Call me
They call me
Icy
Icy Hot, but on Thursdays they call me Icy Thought. It's okay.
Mike says, "What's up, Shoto?" Yeah, it's
That was good.
Yeah,
good.
hey, what's up? Cool. Well, Xander's left the
I
show,
might
so
have
we're
daddy
gonna
issues. It's okay.
yeah, we're just gonna hang out with Shoto for the rest of the episode.
do
That's
here.
that's
We all
what
do
we're
here.
doing. With that said, guys, we're gonna get into the good here, right into the main.
For Mike, I'm gonna let him know though. It's my power. I'm gonna make it my own.
I need to watch this damn show now because everyone's gonna start making fucking My Hero references when they come back and watch this.
Yeah. You just gotta watch it. You just gotta watch it.
I know. I gotta find the time to burn through fucking 800 episodes of that.
Well,
Anyways, the other
I'll watch some
episodes
Benedict.
we're going to talk about today for a headlining segment in the Gallows. We are talking the pilot episodes for Hawkeye. They dropped the day before Thanksgiving, and it was wild. It was wild. So a majority of this conversation is going to be spoiler free because we don't want you guys at home to get a bunch of spoilers if you have not caught on to it just yet. No, okay. Hey, oh shit, Xander's back. Xander came back. Oh shit.
Hey, what's up?
It
was getting itchy.
Mike in the chat said, "Clench your butt cheeks and scream with your heart, smash." So you might have to do that at some point. Anyways, we are going to do a majority of this conversation spoiler free. When we move into spoilers, we will let you guys know. If you have not watched the show, don't listen further once we give you the warning. Watch the episodes, come back and listen to this afterwards. You can be part of that conversation. But it's only 2 episodes. I honestly be a little surprised if there's a lot of people that haven't watched it yet because it is a lot of us have been pretty on top of the Disney stuff. You know what I mean? It is Saturday.
Yeah.
So, anyways, Xander, your top level thoughts on the first 2 episodes of Hawkeye. What do you got?
Honestly, what a breath of fresh air.
Yeah.
Like, because so far the Marvel content that we've had, with the exception of I would say admittedly like Shang-Chi and Eternals, and even Black Widow, and maybe even Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Everything else has been so just heavily like this could affect
Xander. Let me see your coffee cup.
just my cup.
What does it say?
Okay.
It's a cup.
Okay, because Mike mentioned his Thanos was right mug killed me, and I think I'm not sure which one. He was talking about in the show. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
A little note.
There you're talking about
How it was
Xander's
weird.
Mike. Thank you. Yes. Incredible. Anyways, sorry. Continue.
That would be a fast
No.
turnaround.
I want that
Don't
mug.
have that
I'm
mug.
actually gonna look at that. I'm gonna look that out because I
Yeah.
want that mug. Continue though.
No. I was gonna say it's a breath of fresh air because everything has been so multiverse related, so like heavily just like the grand scheme related. Everything's just like, oh, how is this gonna affect it? Because like as someone who's thoroughly invested in the MCU and thoroughly invested in what they could potentially pull from the source material, I'm like, oh god. I saw this. This is gonna affect this. This could happen. And I turn into like Carol. There's no Carol in HR. Like that. Like that's how I've been feeling for so long watching MCU properties. So now that we have Hawkeye, which is supposedly set 2 years after the events of Endgame. That's something that I found in an article. It's just like it's nice to just sit back and watch something that is just set in the MCU that doesn't have to be like, oh yeah,
relatively
so
chill.
Hawkeye devised this arrow that breaks through the multiverse and then shot Loki in the heart and while he was having sex with himself and like it's just like I love it. I love the
Yeah.
interconnectivity. I love the multiversal stuff, but I also do want to take a minute to breathe, and that's what Hawkeye is. Hawkeye
Yeah.
is a minute to breathe and have a Marvel related property that you can just enjoy.
Yeah, yeah. Um,
Abs-
actually, I think I'll jump in on this one because I think Jenesy's got some thoughts, and I want to give her the space to kind of dive into it. So I'll be quick. I'm definitely in agreement. I feel like having a more down to earth, like ground level stakes gives the show definitely like sort of like the breath of fresh air that we've been needing in Marvel content for a while now. Which is why a big part of why I like Shang-Chi so much, because a majority of that movie was very ground level. And then it
Yeah.
was not.
Yeah, and then
No
similarly
spoilers for
to
you, but
Eternals, that's why I kind of rope Eternals into it, because like for the most part, it's kind of just like it's their own thing, and
yeah.
then it's not until certain things happen that you're like, oh fuck, you
Yeah,
know?
like, oh shit! But this is like super ground level,
Oh yeah.
and because of such, like it was a nice change of pace because it just felt like
Mhm.
the stakes were just right enough for bless you hot,
Yeah.
bless you hot. The stakes were just right enough that we
Buddha
were
bless.
able
Buddha
to
bless you.
Gesundheit.
Uncomfortable.
Uh, there was
Dankeschön.
there were just, there were just enough stakes in the show for it to feel like it was worth watching, but not enough for us to be like, oh fuck, here we go again, another world-ending
Yeah.
event and like all this other shit. And really, it's just like, oh, there's fucking bad guys who are gonna try to fucking kill Kate Bishop, and Hawkeye's the only one that can protect her, and that's dope, and that's fucking dope, and I really
Yeah.
like that take on it. I also really thoroughly enjoy them giving us a Hawkeye that genuinely wants to be with his family, and he's genuinely sad, and he's genuinely distraught about not being able to like be that, because
Oh
they
man.
touch on that a lot in Infinity War and Endgame, and then they kind
Yeah.
of don't, and then now we're here in present day Hawkeye,
Yeah.
and we're still in a situation where he's like, I just want to fucking be with my family, like I'm so over this shit, I'm so over having to deal with this bullshit. What's up, Xander?
So I know that we would probably touch on this, considering you and I are both fathers.
Yes.
But also on what you just touched on, like Endgame, the majority of Endgame, and even Infinity, or like yeah, no, it's Endgame. Um, he doesn't have his family. His
Yeah.
family's gone.
Yeah, which
And
is
so
why
that
we get
even further
Ronan.
adds to, and I would argue that they should probably embellish his want and need to be with his family more so in this series moving forward, because he did experience, what was it, 5 years without
5
his
years.
family,
Yeah.
5 years
Yeah.
without his family,
and
just
and
completely gone.
and I think they will.
And
I think they will. I think they're setting it up for a situation where like he's eventually going to be like, look, like we need to get this done because I need to be back with my family. Like we cannot keep
Yeah.
dealing
yeah,
with this. I need to
you're
go.
like,
And like it's gonna I think it's gonna be a plot device somewhere in there because that's kind of like what it feels like it's leading into. I know, like, again, no spoilers for anybody, but they kind of set up things in a way that's like kind of frees him to take care of his Kate Bishop situation. But I can see them doubling back and being like, look, like it's been too long. Like we need to fucking get this done. I can also see them making a joke of it where he keeps bringing it up. Like, I should be with my fucking kids right now, but you keep fucking things
yeah,
up and like, and kind of taking it
yeah.
that direction.
I would
Yeah.
say my only fear on that end is that I have seen in the trailers, like pre like the show releasing, was like he's like in the kitchen of, like, what is it, Kate Bishop's like little hideout or whatever
Her aunt's
that they end up
apartment.
going to.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, her aunt's apartment. And he's like, yeah, I'm gonna be late, you know, like, and like and the way the trailers, it seemed like it was getting close to Christmas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I'm fearful that it'll get to that point where they just play it off as like, oh yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to make it. Ha ha ha. No, that, like, you went without, you spent 5 fucking Christmases without your
Yeah.
goddamn family.
I
I
think,
Like,
think
go ahead,
I
Jensen.
think
Go
they're
ahead.
going a different direction with it. I think that they are probably going to touch on like how important it is for him to be with his family, but also because of how the Ronin figure is the center of the show, right? And him like kind of like feeling guilty about everything with Black Widow and with what he did as the Ronin for 5 years. I think that they're going to talk about, and based off of like the kind of like psychological and emotional things that they've talked about in the previous shows, I think that they're really going to dive into how he doesn't feel like he deserves a family anymore.
Yeah,
Oh,
I could see that, especially because like all the moments that
That's what
they
it feels like to me watching
yeah,
it.
yeah, because especially because like all the little moments that they're having with Clint, like communicating with his wife and like over the phone and stuff,
Beautiful.
have been
Mhm.
very like like kind of just cherishing the moment because they kind of put a lot of focus on those moments when he's talking to his wife on the phone, and
Yes.
it's very because again I don't want to give spoilers to anybody, but it's very like they're zoned in on this moment, and it's only like a couple of minutes long that he's having these conversations and his wife is
Yeah.
talking to him about it, and it's very very sweet short moments,
Mhm.
but they count for a lot because every time that they've shown it so far, he's been very dismayed and very sort of like backwards about the conversation in itself. And you can see that like throughout a course of like the first episode, like when they were showing him, he's just got this aura around him that is very like he's still feeling guilty about Natasha. He's still
Mhm.
feeling guilty about having had been Ronin, and he's trying to move
Mhm.
past this older life, and his wife knows that. And you like just the way that she's communicating with him is very
Yeah.
like trying to cater to his trauma in a way that is
Mhm.
like she's being very
Beautiful.
touchy feely with him, and she's and his wife is doing it in a way that is like, okay, like what's the game plan, is everything okay, like are
Yeah.
you doing all right, and the way that she's sort of communicating with him is very very soft and
Yeah.
is very reminiscent to like you've gone through some shit and I'm trying to like give you the space to kind of navigate that, which is why he's having this time with his kids anyways. And I think that's why I feel like they're going to acknowledge it, because they're even saying like, again, no spoilers, but they're even saying like this entire point of like him being with his kids in the show, in the beginning of the show, is because he needed time with his kids after not having them for 5 years.
yeah.
Mhm.
And that was the entire premise of opening up to why they're doing that. So I can see them doing it, and it'll be rad when they do. Like, there's a lot of stuff that they can go. We're only 2 episodes deep, so there's a lot of different directions that they
I
can
do.
take it. Go ahead.
I do want to touch on the fact that I love that dynamic between him and Laura, where it like so. Sorry. So growing up, growing up in a dysfunctional family,
Yeah.
I enjoy the fact that they showcase a very functional family, a very supportive family, like
Yeah.
family dynamic,
That isn't
where
fake.
okay,
That does not feel
Yeah.
fake because they
it doesn't
feel like
feel
a
fake at all.
real one. Yeah.
Like the moment like because she's clued into everything, she knows that, you know, for
Mhm.
a fact, like, you know, he works top level of like high security whatever, but you know what, fuck your NDA, my wife is still gonna know everything that happens,
Yeah.
Oh,
okay,
dude, and
because she is my
seriously,
fucking wife,
and I
and she needs
100%.
to know because it affects whatever affects me is going to affect her, and it's going to affect the
Mhm.
children, okay,
Yep.
that whole dynamic, I absolutely love that because the moment that like what you're saying, like hey, yeah, I gotta do that, like she like walks off to the side,
mm-hmm,
and it's like,
mm-hmm.
so did you find it, and like she's
What's the
basically kind of
plan?
like
I
almost playing like that guy in the
loved
chair, like
that
the
Yeah.
so fucking much, dude. Like the way she was like, "All right, what's the game plan? Like, do you know what you're gonna
yeah,
do? Like, what's
like
up with the suit? Like,
like
what's
that,
going
and
on? Like,
that is in my opinion a model couple right
yeah,
there,
Yeah.
because they're not just a
100%.
couple, they are a fucking team, and they are
They're a
working
team.
together, and I
Yeah.
absolutely loved that.
Well, and it was dope too because it sets them up in like having their relationship where like she understands that he has to do these things, and she's not
Yeah,
trying to like it sort of reminds me of like the relationship of like old school like Aunt May with Peter Parker stuff and like the older Spider-Man movies where
yeah,
like she
Right.
knows that that he's Peter Parker. She knows that he has to do these things, and she's just kind of like there to guide him in the right direction when he needs it. And that feels really good for Hawkeye, especially in the situation,
Mhm.
the relationship that they have where like she knows he wants to be home so bad. She knows that so
uh,
badly, but she also
yeah,
knows that he feels he has a responsibility to take care of things. And
yeah,
that's where
and I
we want them
appreciate
to be.
I appreciate that so much because time and time again there have been like iterations of like either superhero or like even like on the vein of like Taken or like Born Identity, kind of like
Yeah.
that kind of realm of like quote unquote superhero kind of deal where there's that like either like love interest or close family friend or something like that that's like, oh well, why can't you just be here, like they end up becoming like that whiny kind of person
Yeah.
where it's just like and you're, as the watcher, you're thinking
Pepper Potts.
enough, you know enough to be like, okay, I understand what you're going through, and I understand that it's tough on you, so I'm not going to add on to the stress by whining and complaining about it. I'm going to do what I can to help out on this end. And if there's
Which
anything else you need, like, let's work this together. Like, and I fucking love that. Like, I
which
like
I
when I saw that, I was just like, yep,
I
this is
do
it.
feel
This is it.
like there's space for a character like that in a story that's similar to that, like the character that's not quite supportive. I do feel like there's space for that. This is not one of them, and I'm glad that they
No.
handled that in a way, because the overarching theme of this really is family, and you can see that with Kate Bishop, you can see that with Hawkeye, you can
Yeah.
see that with like how they put more focus on Clint's daughter being involved in what is going on like a greater realm, and that is
Yeah.
wonderful. And I can see that this is going to be a repeating theme throughout each episode of the show. The last thing I want to get into before I give the floor to Jenesy for the last like 15 minutes here, before we move into spoilers, but the last thing I want to talk about is feeling so seen as someone with unilateral hearing loss. And I remember telling Aaron, my partner, for anyone who doesn't know, we watched it together last night, and telling her that like I kind of wanted to cry, because like having Hawkeye wearing one hearing aid, which I do as well, um, and how they handled his not fully only communicating with his family using ASL, but that he's learning it, and that his kids are learning it, and that it is impacting him in a way that makes him feel a certain way, because he doesn't like talking about it, which is also another thing that I'm about, like, kind of in regards to that too. Like, I don't just make conversation about it. If it comes up, I'll talk about it, but you can tell that he's very like, like it's I know that it's going to affect me. And on top of that too, it's also rad that they're just generally giving us Deaf Hawkeye finally, because I was wondering when they were going to do that, and now they're fucking committing to it, and I'm so fucking here for it. And then having even more representation of disabled hearing in the show, with the big reveal at the end of episode 2, which we will get into in spoilers, but holy fucking shit. Oh boy, I'm so fucking here for it. Anyways, Jenesy, I'll give you, let's give you like 7 minutes so we can get into spoilers before we end off. Go ahead.
Okay. So I have been so excited for this goddamn show. Which is funny because I wouldn't say Hawkeye is one of my favorites, but I love Haley Steinfeld. I love archery. I don't know why. I don't know why.
You like that?
I was
that
captain
Katniss
of my middle
Everdeen?
school archery team, by the way.
Oh fuck yeah!
Oh.
Also, like
wow.
one of 3 members, but go ahead.
My high school didn't have sports, so that wasn't an option. But I did dabble in.
It's
I did dabble in.
okay,
archery
Xander.
for a
I was in the
little bit.
chess club for a little while. It's all right. That's okay. I got you, baby.
I was a theater kid and in dance teams, so that's all we need to say there. We know who we were.
I can see that. I can see that for you.
I was also on ASB. I was like very
wow.
serious.
I hung out with the
ASB-er.
theater kids.
We all fucking
We know you
sucked,
did,
yeah.
Xander. We know you did.
Mhm.
But anywho, I was so fucking hype, and I was not disappointed. I really love the justice that they did for Kate Bishop's origin story, especially because Hawkeye never got an origin story, right? I mean, I guess he didn't really need one, but like this also feels like his like rebirth origin story.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like after being the Ronin, like we are getting a who is Hawkeye now sort of thing, which I almost like more than an origin story, because we're seeing the evolution of his character, which I think is super fucking valuable. And just something that I have like my biggest takeaway from all of the MCU Disney Plus series that we've gotten so far, they are really character building. I mean, in a very serious way, that we don't get for a lot. I mean, every character that has gotten an MCU show is more of like a side character, right? That's some of them have been around. I mean, Hawkeye has been around from the beginning, but we haven't gotten a lot of character development for him, and we're finally getting that. As soon as they started talking about his hearing aid, I immediately thought of Ernell. I was like, oh my gosh, I was so stoked. But then when they got to the part where he was signing with his kids, because that was a bit later, right?
Yeah, that was it for me. I was like, fuck, I feel that shit coming. Oh no.
So I feel like I don't really talk about this much, but my little brother, my littlest brother, my heart and soul, I love that child so much. He couldn't speak for the first few years of his life.
Yeah.
So as a family, we took up a bit of sign language so that we could communicate with him. So it's not that he could hear us just fine, and he doesn't have any hearing impairments, but he couldn't speak. So it was very important for us to find ways to communicate with him. And just watching that was like a big thing for me. I was like, oh my, it was just so sweet. Like that is what you do when you have a family member who, you know, can't communicate with you through voice for whatever reason. You learn other ways to communicate, and it was just so wholesome and so simple. Such a simple way for them to do it, and it was very different than how they approached the Eternals character, where they just kind of assumed obviously they lived with each other for an eternity, so they just learned how to communicate. They just knew how. But they were showing that process of it's not a big thing. You just learn how to sign, and you learn little bits at a time.
Right.
And it
right.
was absolutely heartwarming. I also just loved that they are leaning into him losing his hearing, because I feel like that's one of the things that every single Marvel movie you watch, you're like, how are they? I mean, like action hero movies in general, you're like, how are they not bruised to all shit? Like, how are they still walking? Like, how did they run out of that building that's burning onto a helicopter?
I did want to speak on that as well. Like when Kate asks, like, how did you lose your hearing? Like, and that's something that's a conversation that I've had with.
I don't want to teeter spoilers too close, but just be wary. Be wary. Continue though.
Yeah,
but be wary.
Right, but there's a moment at which he's asked, like, you know, how did you lose your hearing? And like this is a conversation that I've had with Jackie, like, because like I'm familiar with the source material where like this in the source material it follows Clint Barton, who has lost his hearing and all this other stuff. And Jackie asked me, like, well, how did he lose his hearing? I'm like, have you not seen like the last like fucking 20 movies he was in? Yeah, like,
do you not understand action movies?
I'm surprised he didn't lose it after Age of Ultron. Like,
yeah,
come
on.
Right. Truly,
which actually I'm pretty sure like I think it was actually Age of Ultron was like one of the first like scenes that they showcased. Like
100%. Yeah,
it's incredible.
Yeah, but it goes to show like, and I think they're kind of delving more and more into that with the Marvel properties, the humanity of the more mortal characters.
The like repercussions of the actions is kind of like an ongoing theme that they keep touching on in Marvel, and I think it's super interesting that they're doing it in the way that they do, because it feels so much more grounded now. It feels so much more grounded, having us like look at the human characters on a level that is like more like, oh well, they're not untouchable. There's consequences here. Sorry, continue.
And in another way, I feel like this is like it goes into like the phenomenal like just like mind process with the people over at Marvel and Disney, where it's just like, oh yeah, we can embellish this as part of the story, but also guess what? These actors get old and contracts go up. So we could play up into it, and it would make sense in the story in the long run, and then we can set up other characters to take the mantle. And it's just like it's just like one thing was just like, wow, what a concept, you know? Like you can make things realistic, but also make it fit, you know, the contracts and everything, and the overarching storyline, and it's just like, wow.
Yeah.
Who'd have thunk
finally
it?
Getting it?
Kevin Feige would have thunk it.
Kevin Feige's fucking doing it.
Jenesy, we'll give you a few more minutes. Go ahead.
Yes. So I think in general, like there's that kind of like deeper stuff that was just, it really does, like even just in 2 episodes, it's really pulling at your heartstrings. And it very much is a family like Christmas show that is just like everything I've ever wanted. But it's also like it is returning. You guys touched on it really well, that it's giving us kind of a break of these huge big picture things, but it's also like returning us to this like Marvel, like campy humor and relationships and stuff between like Clint and Kate.
So
We're getting
good.
so much
good.
fun Marvel camp, like, and that is a very specific like style of campy humor and relationships. I think that Marvel does really well, and I think that Kate Bishop is just, she's such a fun character. Getting Haley Steinfeld to play her was incredible, and she's such a wonderful addition to the MCU. I think that she's going to be so fun, and I am there. She and Clint they're gonna bump heads. They're gonna probably have a part where they fight and something bad happens, and I'm very excited to like see how they reconcile that, because I think that they're really fun characters to have together, and to have Hawkeye. I mean, that might be a spoiler. I digress.
Sure.
But like they're just, it's very, I don't know, because it's very emotional, but it's balanced with a lot of fun. It's balanced with a lot of fun, a lot of laughs, a lot of good times, a lot of cute Christmas shit, all of that. And I really, really do love it. I'm very excited to see as this goes on, and I have lots to say about spoilers. So.
Oh, it's dude, it's gonna be so good. It's gonna be so good. It's gonna be so fucking good. As a matter of fact, we're gonna move into spoilers in our post show. Our schedule for next week, Tuesday, we have another episode of the Good Kraken podcast. We're gonna be talking about Good Kraken's Game Awards choices. We're going to be looking over all the categories in the Game Awards, and we're going to be talking about which ones we would pick to win each individual category in the Game Awards nominations. Wednesday, we're going to be playing Battlefield 2042 again. I will be there because Devin, unfortunately, is having some issues with his capture card. I'm going to be taking care of y'all, baby. I'm going to be taking care. You know what I'm saying? Let's go. Let's go.
No.
Not the boo-boo kisses. Not the boo-boo kisses.
Thursday. Thursday, we're doing another live recording of the Shipwreck show. That is exclusive to our patrons over on patreon.com/goodkraken show. If you want to watch us record that live, head on over there. In the meantime, that will drop for public on that following Sunday. So keep that in mind. Friday, we will be doing, as Mike in the chat is asking for, Splash Damage with another Halo Infinite stream. We will be here next Friday doing some more Halo for you guys. It's going to be a damn good time. Halo's been wonderful so far. Kickback's going to be great. And then next Saturday, we've got another Good Kraken podcast. I want to hold off on the topic for that one because it's going to be a fun one. You guys will see what we're talking about. It's going to be good. It's going to be good. I'm so fucking stoked. Guys, please let us know how you felt about Hawkeye's 2 pilot episodes starting out. And let us know down in the comments below, tweet at us, all the good stuff. And we would love to hear from you guys because Hawkeye's been just phenomenal so far. With that said, this has been the Good Kraken podcast, your choice for all the nerdy video game and pop media news, reviews, and discussions that you wanted to hear. Live every Tuesday at 7 p.m. and Saturday at 12 p.m. right here at twitch.tv/GoodKraken Show. If you enjoyed the show, you can head on over to patreon.com/GoodKraken Show, where you can submit questions and topics of the show, get exclusive post-show content, and have early access to episodes before they go live on podcast and video services across the 7 seas. You can also support us by going to our YouTube channel, by clicking that beautiful bell and big red button, or by subscribing to our podcast channel by searching Good Kraken with an exclamation mark and leaving a review there. We have a post show to go record, but until next time, my friends, be good to each other. Winky face. Winky face.
Winky face. Winky face. Winky face. That's what we're doing here.